Hello everyone, welcome to Semi-Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. If you are new, welcome. Semi-homesteading essentially means that I am just a suburban gal out here trying to learn as many homesteading skills as possible. I'm trying to cook better. I'm trying to make my own bread. I'm trying to make my own butter. I want to be more sustainable, more self-reliant, live off the land a little bit more, but I don't have a huge homestead to do it. So I'm trying to learn all of the skills. If you're interested in following along with my adventure to learning how to homestead, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I really want to get to 100 by the end of January. So if you are watching and you are not subscribed, make sure to do that because it really helps me out. If you watched my last video, you will know that the latest development in my homesteading adventure is getting this bread maker. I got it for Christmas and I have made multiple loaves of white bread now. It is so good, way better than the store. So I will link that video for you if you are interested in watching. But I was reading all about this bread maker and noticed that I can actually make jam in it. So I learned how to make jam a ways back on the stove. But I want to see how easy it is to actually make jam in here because it would be just awesome if I could throw all the ingredients in and just have it make it for me without like the whole mess on the stove and spilling the berries everywhere and stuff like that. So today I'm going to try to make blackberry jam in my bread maker. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have to plug in my bread maker. Now it has a setting that says jam on it. You can also make yogurt in here, so at some point I'm gonna try to make yogurt for sure. I'm very excited about that. But basically you just do lemon juice, sugar, and berries. They do give you an actual recipe with the bread maker in this recipe book, which is very helpful because when I do it on the stove, I pretty much just eyeball the amounts and it turns out pretty well, but I am gonna try to use as close to the actual recipe that they give you as possible to give it, you know, my best shot and see how it turns out. So the first step is I'm going to remove the kneading paddle from inside my bread maker, which is proving honestly to be a little difficult. Got it. I'm gonna make sure to rinse this out. That is all rinsed. So let me hop the paddle back in there. Let's rinse off some berries. The only ingredients are just berries, lemon juice, and sugar, so very simple. But let's get the actual amounts of all the ingredients. So here it only says strawberry and blueberry jam, and it says to mash them. I never mash them when I do stovetop. I just kind of let them break down with the heat. So that's kind of what I'm testing out today is like, do I actually have to go mash all my fruit before I put it in the jam maker? I feel like I don't. So I'm gonna try without any mashing today. The mashed strawberry recipe says 300 grams of fruit, 120 grams of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Let's see how many grams of fruit I have. Okay, I have 566 grams. Now I'm gonna have to do some quick math here. Let me get my phone. You know, I'm actually just gonna eyeball it. So it's almost double of what the recipe calls for. I'm gonna add a teaspoon and about 3/4 of lemon juice. And then 120 grams is about a half a cup of sugar. So I'll probably just do just under a cup of sugar. Okay, I did about this much. Now, the tricky thing about this is I think gonna be the time that it needs to cook since I've doubled the recipe. What they said for the original recipe is an hour and 20 minutes. So I guess I'm gonna start with that and see how it looks and then probably just extend the time like 30 minutes or so. I'm assuming I don't have to cook it double the time, even though I have almost double the ingredients, but we'll check on it as we go. So let's put the bread pan in. Okay, I can do the menu up to 24 for jam, hour and 20 minutes, and we just hit start. All right, I guess that's it. I'll check back in when I know what the status is. Okay, I was a little concerned because it was not doing anything with the kneading paddle, but it just started. So I'm hoping the berries get soft enough to kind of break up a little bit. I can also kind of mash it after it's cooked, I think. So I think it's looking good. The berries still look kind of intact, more intact than I probably would like. So it's on its rest phase now, and I'm just gonna open it up and mash them a little bit, which sometimes I do when it's stovetop once they're cooked a little bit and it's easier to kind of break them up. So I am gonna try to do that, then let the rest period continue. Okay, so let me show you where we're at after the hour and 20. I actually bumped it up like 10 more minutes, so I think it cooked for an hour and a half. But I think we probably need it a little bit thicker. The smashing it helped, but it's still a bit liquidy and it's been resting for a while. So I'm gonna actually run it again for probably 30 to 40 minutes and just see if it thickens up a little bit. I know that once I refrigerate it, it will also thicken up more, so maybe that's enough, but I'm gonna run it for just a little longer. The other thing that I need to mention is I was already just starting to upload the clips and edit them, and I realized that when I read the recipe out loud, it said 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, so I did 1.5 or whatever, but I used a tablespoon. So this could be quite tart jam, and it would not be the fault of the recipe, it would just be my fault. Okay, so I ended up running the jam a full other cycle in the bread maker, which seems like a long time. It says an hour and 20 minutes is like a full cycle, but I think 20 minutes of that is just the bread maker heating up, and then 20 minutes is a rest period. So I skipped both of those, and the jam looked pretty good. It was a little bit liquidy still, but I thought, you know, this is probably as good as it's gonna get, and it still should be good. So I just got my canning funnel out, put it in a jar that I had previously washed, and I'm not actually water boil canning this, so we're just gonna eat it quickly within the week or so. I let that jar cool overnight and then put it in the fridge, so it was nice and cold by the next morning when I decided to make myself a little breakfast of homemade bread, peanut butter, and jelly. Look at how good that bread turned out. This is bread I previously made a couple days ago in the bread maker, and I am just obsessed with it. So this is like a very good, delicious breakfast, and I had to check the seal just to make sure, you know, it's always satisfying when the jar seals correctly, so it all looked good. I put the jam on. Again, it looked a little bit liquidy with big chunks of blackberry, but I think I actually really enjoy that. So as you can see, there's like some kind of free-floating juice there, and then the big chunk of blackberries. Again, you can crush up the blackberries beforehand, but I kind of like some chunky jam, you know? So did a little taste test. It was amazing. Very, very good. But, you know, sometimes I take one bite of a taste test, think it's good, and then can't really eat the whole thing. So I wanted to test it out, eat the whole breakfast, make sure my review held up, and I can confidently say it did. This was amazing jam. Hey everyone, just wanted to come and wrap up this video. I think this is a great cleaner option of making jam. Like when I make jam on the stove, like I think I mentioned in the video, berries sometimes spill out and they get on my stovetop and it's all kind of a mess, and I have to kind of be watching it and babying it a little bit. But with this bread maker, you just throw everything in and it kind of does the work for you. It takes a little bit longer, I would say, but really it's a good option. I think if I want to make it in a huge batch, I might stick to making it on the stove because the bread pan is only so big. But other than that, like if you just want to make a small batch of jam, I think this bread maker is very convenient, very easy, simple cleanup, and it's definitely a great option. So I'm excited to explore more that this bread maker does. I think it's like this amazing machine. I really want to make yogurt and try out different types of bread. So leave a comment below about your favorite thing to make in a bread maker or your favorite jam to make, because I definitely want to branch out and try other jams. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I appreciate you being here, appreciate you following along with my learning adventure, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye everyone.